Welcome back, Toyota fans, to another Toyota Tuesdays. I am Brian from 6th Gear Garage, and hopefully joining me shortly will be Clinton from Dirt Garage. He wasn't quite home yet, but he said he was going to jump on here. Um, I have no viewers right now, so this may be the loneliest show I've ever done. But a lot of you guys don't know, this is the new channel for the show dedicated to Toyota Tuesdays. It's no longer hosted on 6th Gear Garage, so hopefully all you guys will make it over. It also doesn't help that I forgot to schedule a stream tonight, so nobody probably knew about it. It's been a pretty crazy past week and a half. I'll get into that in a little bit. Oh, someone just joined us. As always, if you do want to send some pictures of your truck to have it featured on the show, go ahead and email those to toyotatuesdays@gmail.com. Make sure it's Toyota Tuesdays with an S, plural. And I also got that comment pinned up at the top there in the chat. So, like I said, Clinton's going to be joining us shortly. It's been 2 weeks since the last show. I think last time we talked on the show, I had just bought those extra cabs. Update on those. Those things were just rusty and or disgusting. One wasn't too bad. The other one was very disgusting inside. It sat in a field without a windshield for about, I don't even know how many years. So those are gone now. Turns out there wasn't a whole lot of good parts, but there were some good parts. I did get a center console out of one, so I'll be keeping that for my truck. Some trim pieces. Got a couple really nasty seats out of one of them from a newer Toyota. And trying to think what else came out of those. Some miscellaneous interior parts, but nothing too much. Let's see what else is going on. Oh, and then, well, I'll just spill the beans out. Sorry about that. Lost audio there. Had an interesting week last week. As you guys know, my wife drives a Ford Edge. It's a 2011 Ford Edge. And apparently, up to the year 2014, I don't know about the newer ones, they use an internal water pump driven out the timing chain. So it's actually inside the engine. And when that water pump goes, once the coolant makes it past that seal, it mixes with the oil. And if you're driving on the highway, as we were 2 hours from home, it can destroy the engine in a matter of minutes. I got a ding from the dash, looked down, the temps were up, pulled over, it was too late. We got it towed, expecting just to replace the water pump. Instead, the engine was full of metal shavings. So I've been dealing with that. She ended up getting a rental. And car shopping right now for something new is, or even used, I mean, is awful because there's supply and demand, because there's no new vehicles, because of the chip shortage. And she ended up getting like a GMC Terrain. Wanted to get a 4Runner, 2015 or newer 4Runner, but they're so expensive right now. So unfortunately, we didn't get to add a new Toyota to the family out of that. But I have been for the last couple afternoons wiring up a brake controller into my Land Cruiser so that I can safely tow a vehicle on a double axle trailer. I did that once with the Acura when I bought it. It was kind of sketchy, and this Ford Edge is now a $500 scrap paperweight. So I got to figure out a way to get this thing back home. So that's been my Toyota business this week, is just getting this brake controller figured out and the 7-pin harness hooked up. It's nice that newer vehicles, a lot of times, newer trucks will come with that. However, not a 94 Land Cruiser. So it does all right towing, though. Better than you might think for being a straight 6. You're just not going anywhere fast. So, anyways, I have not been at the computer much, so my apologies for not getting the show scheduled. Don't mean to leave you guys hanging. But I have been watching Bring a Trailer here and there have been some pretty exciting sales on there. In fact, let's go over and take a look at that. There we go. So, where were we here? I scrolled through the recent Toyota sales, and I think this is the latest. Yeah, $78,000 Land Cruiser. These things have been going for insane amounts of money. This one's no exception, but unlike the other ones that went for very high dollar amounts, this one only has this one does have 142,000 miles. A lot of the ones that went for insane dollar amounts were like 5,000 miles and, around that range. So apparently the 80 series Land Cruiser market is continuing to explode. If you want to get one, now is the time, but this is a very clean example for having 142,000 miles on it. Also some tasteful modifications. As you can see, it had a lift and larger tires on it. But yeah, ARB front bumper. So there you go. Still going for insane amounts of money. Here's another one that sold for $43,500. This one's a 97. Usually the 95 to 97s do sell for more than the 1994s, just because they're OBD2, and they have the updated dash and a few other updates on them. This one had 68,000 miles on it. Also white. This one appears to be completely bone stock, even has a stock tire size on it. And, clean example. Definitely low miles and all original. So, 43,500 on that one. Now, this one caught my eye. We know 4Runners are going for insane amounts of money, first gen 4Runners. This one is a turbo 4x4 SR5, basically the best that you could get in 1986. And this one sold for $20,500, which is pretty up there for 4Runners. You can see it's got some dings and scratches. It's got some aftermarket lights. It's not all original, but it is an overall nice shape. And it had 206,000 miles. Did you ever think first gen 4Runner? Audio is cutting out again. Sorry about that, guys. Having all kinds of difficulties today. But anyways, 206,000 miles, and it sold for 20 grand. Turbo model. So we also have a 1999 SR5 4Runner, and this guy sold for $23,000. And it's got some aftermarket. I think those are aftermarket wheels. You know what? They have to be. But the rest of it looks to be pretty original. Yeah. Actually, optional 15-inch Inky wheels. So I guess those may have been a dealer option. But 76,000 miles. Automatic. Usually the 5 speeds bring big dollars, but this one's an automatic. Still selling for $23,000. So just following the path of the past 4Runners, man. The third gens are now collectible, apparently. I've seen them go for 26,000. I think was the highest one I've seen, with less miles and a 5-speed. So I think if you want to get a clean one, scoop them up because the prices are continuing to rise on these things. Speaking of which, a 2001 Tacoma. Haven't seen a lot of price increases on these guys yet. Here we have a SR5 TRD 4x4 extended cab, and it sold for $24,000, only 96,000 miles, and it's an automatic transmission. So overall, really clean shape, all original. A good example. I didn't see where it was from. Let's see. California, of course. That's why it's so nice and not broken in half. So there you go. Apparently, the price hike is continuing into the later models now. I did not think this would go that high. We'll look at one more here on Bring a Trailer. This is a 43,000 mile 2004 4Runner V8 Limited. Now the fourth gen Forerunners don't seem to be as popular as the third gen for whatever reason, or the fifth gen. It's almost like they just kind of missed it here. I don't know if it's with the styling. I'm not as big of a fan of the styling of these generations, so I'm surprised to see this going for $20,000. Of course, it does have the 4.7 V8, which is very desirable. Coupled to a 5-speed automatic transmission and a locking rear diff. So it is nicely optioned. It's got the 17-inch alloy wheels, but very low miles, and it's from New York. Nice clean interior. And you can see the underside actually looks really good for coming from New York. But there you go. So apparently even mid-2000s Toyotas are now becoming collectible and going up in value. So if you got one, hang on to it. Or list it on Bring a Trailer if it's clean and you're looking for some cash. Hang on to it. Tell you what, while we're over here, let's go over to the inbox, ToyotaTuesdays@gmail.com. Hey, what's up, Nick? Video keeps cutting in and out. That's weird. It does say I have a good connection. Keep me updated on that. Let me know if it keeps acting goofy. Maybe some setting here. Let's see. Yeah, I wish my truck was that clean too. Even my 85, it's a 5 to 10 footer, and you get up close, you see all the flaws for sure. Over to the inbox. Let's see here. We got a couple emails from Bob Frazier, longtime viewer of the show. This is an 86 Toyota SR5 4x4, all original. From the 19th, so hopefully it's still up. It's been 10 days now. Oh man, it has been deleted. Sorry, Bob, we missed that one. Well, let's see what else he sent here. Best barn find ever. A 93 with 84 miles on it. Oh wow. Up for auction. Purchase in part in New Hampshire. All right. Are they going to show me an ad here? Let's see. Oh my gosh. I am so sorry. That was so loud. I hope it didn't damage anyone's speakers. We'll just not watch that. Oh, wow. You got me good, Fox News. You got me good. Okay, so it's found in a barn where it had been parked shortly after it was purchased. And has the license plate 1 Rare 93. There you go. Got a few pictures of it. 4-cylinder 5-speed. Supposedly the lowest mileage example of this truck left. So we'll see where it goes for auction and what it goes for. I'm sure it will fetch a premium. So sorry about that, guys. Clinton has not yet joined us. Let me see if he sent me something here. Ah, all good. Well, I'll tell you what, I did get some new classifieds here to look at, including the mystery Forerunner we looked at last week. If you guys recall this, it was a very odd proportioned Forerunner based on a pickup truck, we think. And I did dig up some more photos of that on the internet this past week. Let's take a look at those. Let's see here. So there's the we'll start with the exterior first. I'll tell you what, first let's look at the ones we looked at last week, just in case you guys didn't see that one. This is all I had. Here's the back. You can see it doesn't have the typical Forerunner rear glass. It has a sort of like a lift back glass, and there's the only side shot I had. There's a strange gap of some sort here behind the door. It has the V-pillar trim of a truck and a 4Runner. Very strange. And this whole section here, I don't know what's going on. We had no good guesses, but there's the whole truck. Um, the design is similar to a 4Runner, but you can see it sort of rises up on the roof, so it's taller, and it has this whole extra hatch that opens up. And the windows are similar but different. Also, look at the body lines here. This is definitely a pickup truck bed. So we had no other guesses about that. It does appear to be a cap, sort of like, I don't know, fused to the roof in some way, shape or form. So we left it at that and did some more digging, and here's what I found. So now we know what we're dealing with. There is the interior. Now, if you look, this is some sort of, it's a different seat. It's not a 4Runner seat, and it seems to be up higher. I don't know. But definitely different on the inside than a typical 4Runner. There's another shot of the back. Whoever bought it or acquired it has now painted all the rust with, looks like self-etching primer. But it is the same truck. I wasn't sure at first if it was the same one. It is. I looked at all the rust spots. It's got the same dents in the bumper. So this is definitely still one of a kind. And there it is from the side. You can see it's got the same aftermarket wheels on it and the same rust spots. Missing the same trim. So it is the same one. It's not another one that has resurfaced. There you go. A better view at the cap and the way the window is and the hatch. Now, there's a lot of theories on what this is. Some people are thinking it's a conversion before we had the 4Runner, Winnebago, somebody else. They used to take trucks and convert them into the 4Runners, and that was the Tracker. There was one, I think, called Wolverine, too, I believe. People are thinking maybe they still did that after the 4Runner was introduced in this generation. That was a couple theories. Some people think it's just some weird one-off job, but it looks almost too well done to be a one-off job. I don't know. But yeah, there's the weird back seat. You can see it's a lot thicker. And it's in sad shape of the interior. I really hope they restore this because it is some sort of rare example of a hodgepodge of 80s Toyotas. But yeah, there is the tailgate for the truck, and you can see that is definitely a truck opening there with a cap of some sort attached to it. Also note it doesn't have the factory roll bar that the 4Runners have. So there's a view of sort of where the cab meets the cap. And this obviously is missing here. And there is the door panel. Nothing really unusual here. Just your standard pickup cab. And here is where it gets kind of strange again. This section kind of goes down, and you can see there's sort of a seam right there. That's the actual door jamb, but this would be kind of like where the bed begins and ends. So it is definitely a bed. You can see the whole seam right here. It does hit the typical Toyota multi-piece bed of this generation, which rusts out, as you can see. And here's another closer look at that seam going down the side there. I'm so curious as to the story behind this, or how it even came to existence, you know? Where were we? There was something in here I saw. Where was it? Okay. This was probably the best comment that I could find. After the Trekker and before the 4Runner Surf, Toyota bought out Hilux's Tacomas that were recreational vehicles and brought on the idea for the Surf 4Runner. At the start of the Surf was just a Helix Tacoma with the rear wall removed. a canopy added, and seats in the tub slash bed. I believe that it started as an optional extra and ended up turning into a whole new vehicle. This one deserves to be brought back to glory as it is the father of the 4Runner Surf and the Trekker, which is the Godfather. Restore it and don't take a cent less than 50K for it if you ever sell it. A couple people found that humorous. And there's one more really weird picture that I got to include to this. But I'm sorry, I still have it on my phone. It makes it even more strange. Here it is. Okay. This is the. Oh, please focus. This is the dashboard of that 4Runner, the glove box. And if you zoom in real close, there's an autograph on it with number 90. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. And people seem to think that is a football player of the Kansas City Chiefs, a former football player from, I think, the 90s. Let me Google it real quick here. I looked it up, and my bad, I forgot his name. It's Neil. Where is it? Hang on. L. Oh, Smith. The most common last name. Yeah, Neil Smith, number 90 of the Kansas City Chiefs. He's retired now. He played from 1998 to 1996. And then the Broncos from 97 to 99. So this one-off 4Runner, possibly the only one in existence, has been signed by a retired NFL player. Assuming during his time. I would guess he would have signed it in the 90s since he put his number on it. So this just got really weird. I'm going to keep looking for info on this thing. If you guys have any guesses, any ideas, post them. Let me know. This just got so much more mysterious when the whole autograph thing showed up. Okay, thanks, Hearsay. There is a little audio echo going on, and let me know if I fix that at all. Yeah, B-Dog, go ahead and send me the 88, Drew. Send it to toyotatuesdays@gmail.com. We'll look at it on the show. Let's see. Explosion. Trekker interior shows some resemblance. Yeah, and what I'm wondering is, obviously they had the Trekker, and in 1984 they came out with the new body style of the truck and the 4Runner in the same year. But I would guess they probably developed the truck first, since the truck had already been a model to the previous generation, and then developed the 4Runner based on the truck. So maybe in the early part of '84, maybe the 4Runner was not available yet. Maybe it was still having to be converted, or maybe in 1983 or even '82, because they get these models ready a while with test mules and all that, and put some miles on them to make sure they're going to be all right. Maybe they had an early truck, obviously pre-'84, and they did a couple different versions of the 4Runner, converting it to a 4Runner to see kind of what worked. And maybe they did this one first, and they didn't like the shape of the top, or they didn't like the fact that it was too much like a truck in the back, or it didn't have the roll down rear window. I don't know. That's my guess. So I'm thinking this may have been the one of the first early test mules of the Forerunner, and that's why it has that seam in the bed. They probably didn't like that. They went back and redid the whole body to make it one piece, which does look a lot cleaner. So I'm guessing maybe this is just a one-off early test mule that disappeared and sat in a field in somebody's barn. Who knows? For a number of decades. So that's my theory. Still, the whole autograph thing really throws it off for me because that lets you know this vehicle was out and about uh, in the 90s. So we'll see. We'll see what turns up on the old internet. Okay, back on the comments here. Austin, man, I'm really sorry to hear about your your 1477 Toyota 3 Runner, man. It made it so many centuries. You know, it had to break down eventually. You know. Uh, you guys killed me in the comments. All good. All right, hey, we're gonna go check out B Dog's drawing. He drew this. So this is B Dog's 1988 Toyota pickup. Nice. I like the bumper. Good lift. Looks like it's on, I don't know, 33s, 35s, one of the two. Here is the drawing. Cool, man. I like it. Looking good, man. So wait, back to the truck. Nice. That's cool, man. I do love drawing vehicles as well. Actually, if you guys ever checked out my store, um, Sixth Gear Garage, yeah, sixthgeargarage.net. There's a merchandise tab on there. I've got all kinds of shirts and stuff in there. A lot of Toyota shirts, including shameless plug, including "Make Toyotas Great Again." That's one of the ones I created. That's probably my favorite. All right, just lost the audio again. Man, I am always going to have audio issues on the show, it seems. The weird thing is, it happens the most when Clinton is not on. So I don't know. It's something going on through Zoom or Skype or something like that. So it might cut out here and there. But we got a couple other emails here in the inbox. Spencer Walker, 1986 Toyota pickup. Through the bed on my pickup. Was in the episode a few weeks ago getting some body work done. Tailgate is under the knife as well. Nice, dude. I like the boggers. Man, nothing says this truck will go anywhere like a set of boggers. Very nice. Forgot to include in my previous email. This is a guy's backyard in Florida. All Toyotas. Oh, man. Whoa, hey, I see him way back there. Yeah, this guy's sitting on a gold mine here. And he's got more on this side, too. Jeez. Wow. This guy, if this guy could find a way to get those up to Ohio, he could retire, like, right now. Very nice. All right, back to comments here. I'm going to print out my drawing so I can give it different paint jobs and figure out what I want to do. Nice. Hey, what do you use a software on that B-Dog? I'm curious. I use Adobe Illustrator on all my stuff that I do, all my shirts and stuff. Um, check it out if you can find a version. So we got a lot of classifieds over here. let's go over and check that out. So, we got a lot of classifieds over here. Let's go over and check that out. Let's see, we already looked at the Mystery 4Runner Part 2. Let's start off with the old stuff here. Got a 1979 Toyota SR5 for $3,500 in Nevada. 156,000 miles. It's a 4x4 20R motor and a 4-speed. Idle-Brock intake, Weber carb, FPR engage, header, electric fan, new chains, guides, tensioner, all that. 86 rear end, 2-inch front wheel spacers to match the wider rear axle track. 6-inch lift, all springs, no blocks, new shocks. Basically, really nice truck. Let's see. I'll let you guys just read that if you're curious. All it needs is a windshield. Seems like a steal, right? Let's check it out. Man, nice door jambs. I think it's clean. Although it has been repainted. I see some blue overspray on the latch there, or the striker, I mean. Yeah. But yeah, clean, really clean. Yeah, you can see there, darker blue, lighter blue. That's the original blue right there. But for 3,500, I mean, that's a nice deal for that amount. Yeah, I would say that's a steal. Really good deal. At least in Ohio. Maybe in Arizona you can find rust-free, clean, old Toyotas all day, but not around here. Let's see here. Let's look at an 87 4Runner in Texas. $1,500, 1,500 firm, running, driving, 15,000 miles on a rebuilt, 5-speed manual, W56 trans. It is rusted out. Body is trash. Missing. Yeah, I like Jack's honesty. I follow him on Facebook, by the way. He's into a lot of Toyotas and Land Cruisers. But yeah, it is rusted out. Body is trash. Missing tailgate and most interior. But it's a perfect drivetrain donor. Good 31s too. I mean, I guess in Texas this might be considered trash. In Ohio, this is like perfectly average. Yeah, this is how they mostly look around here. So not horrible. But yeah, probably not acceptable for being in the South. That right there, baby blue, that is Jack's Trekker. So that thing is mint condition. Be nice if we can see a picture of that in the background. If not, I'll grab some photos and we'll look at it another time. Yeah, there's his FJ. Is that a 62? FJ 62, yeah. No, actually, there might be a 60. I can't tell from here. So yeah, he's not lying. It's pretty rusty. Um, Go back up here. Old school 1980 two-wheel drive in Oregon. This one sold quick. $1,000. I think we're cutting out here real quick. Hang on. Hey, my internet. I mean, nothing is working right tonight, Clinton. You missed a good show to not be present on. Oh, Time Warner. You guys have Time Warner? Are they this bad everywhere? So we got a 78 to 79 21RU two-wheel drive. Needs a good cleaning and a tune-up. Needs tires, brakes work. I would have bought this. This is way nicer than mine that I paid 600 bucks for. 88,000 miles. Look at that. I mean, the bed's a little bit rusty, but it's all there. Yeah, not bad. Even has the original SR5 graphics in the door still. 1,000 bucks. Yeah, I don't know. I might have talked them down a little bit, but pretty clean. I got a question here, or a comment here from B Dog. What do you think about a short bed Chevy square body? About an 86. You can't go wrong with the square body, man. There is so many parts out there, any kind of aftermarket support. It's not like our trucks where you can't buy anything. You can get anything you need for a square body, and there's so many out there already. You'll find a lot of guys selling parts, and not to mention, man, they're tough as nails too, man. Um, they're good trucks. If you're looking for something full size, obviously you're not going to get maybe not the MPG of a Yoda, but good trucks though. If I was into Yodas, I would probably own a K5 Blazer because I love, based on that body style, the square body. I love the K5 Blazers and the 80s Broncos too. Those are cool. But I fell in love with Yodas instead. Back to the classifieds here. We got an 87 4Runner out in South Dakota. Price is best offer. It's a $5,000 and it has 135,000 miles. Needs rear glass and not perfect. He wants to get himself a nice Astro Safari van. So there you go. That's something a little bit different. Shouldn't have a problem trading up for one of those. He's got a clean title and he's got some 63-inch leafs for the rear. Let's check it out. See, it's got some nasty flex to it. Nice bumper. Looks like he didn't have any masking tape when he painted the body. That thing is just, he just painted it all white. But you can see it, the body's a little beat up on it. Seeing some trails for sure. There's all the specs on it. 529s, rebuilt motor, gear transfer case, clutch. Oh, fiberglass fenders, 37-inch tires. Tundra rear drive shaft. Curious about that. Haven't seen that mod before. So there you go. A nice, oh yeah, it does have fiberglass fenders. Didn't see that before. Yeah, a nice off-road rig that can be driven on the street. This is let's see, this is Ohio. I saw this locally actually. 1980 Toyota pickup, 3,200 bucks, 75,000 miles. Not much info. 22 or 20R motor. That's all they say. So there you go. I will say the body is, I think it's a little rusty for that asking price. That looks like Bondo. I can tell from the 15 feet away. That looks like Bondo cracking. I know it all too well. But overall, not bad. I don't think it's worth that though. I should say overall, not bad for Ohio. Horrible for being out west. What do we got here? I saved this for myself. I was thinking about picking this up, but too many projects right now. 3,600 bucks, 87 4Runner, 158,000 miles. Needs a clutch. Interior C minus, body is B minus, frame is an A grade, and that's why I was looking at it. 3-inch lift. considered it, but man, I just got too much going on right now. And I saw this truck for sale about maybe a year ago too, the same one. So I think it was the same one. Yeah, it could have been a different one, but same one in Columbus. Overall, though, not a bad deal for an Ohio 4Runner, considering it's somewhat clean for this region. Let's see here. This is a 1983 Toyota pickup in Nevada. 3,500 bucks, already pending by the time I saved it, so not a bad deal. Comes with a parts engine as well. There you go. So definitely a trail rig, bobbed. Uh, Obviously the body is rust free, being in Nevada. There's the spare engine. So basically a running driving trail rig for 3,500 bucks. Pretty good deal. Wish I knew more specs on it, but he didn't tell us too much. Bouncing around. Let's go back to the 86 Toyota Extra Cab in Texas. Okay, 5,000 bucks, 100,000 miles. If Clinton was here, he would be crying right now. 350 swap. Currently in a shop being finished. $1,000 repair bill to finish is included in the asking price. So, lifted rugged Toyota, needs new tires. That's all we know about this. So there you go. I mean, honestly, 5,000 bucks, not horrible. I mean, considering that it's including the guy finishing the truck. Looks like it's been sitting outside on the ground for a while. You can see the tires were completely flat. You can see they're still creased right there. Right there too. So don't know the history on it, but if 350s are your thing, then this is a pretty good deal. Man, those are wide tires. And it's got different wheels on it there, so I don't know the full story about that. Oh yeah, it's got some Texas patina up there too. There in the rust and fender in the roof. So, not a horrible deal really. Okay, we got a few more here, and I guess Clinton's not going to make it tonight. Let me check here. Have not heard. So he's out and about. I don't think he's going to make it home before the show ends because we've got about 12 more minutes before I'm signing off. Jump over to the comments real quick though. 100. This is B-Dot, by the way. 156,000 miles, and I don't think the clutch has been changed. It still feels good. When do you normally change them and run the crap out of mine? You know, it all depends on the miles. I mean, highway miles, who knows? Who knows when? That's nothing for highway miles. Hard miles, you never know. Basically, until it starts to slip, I wouldn't really worry about it. Basically, until it starts to slip. Okay, let's look at a 1984 Toyota pickup out in PA, which is not really any better than Ohio when it comes to rust. $7,200, 135,000 miles, 4x4, 5-speed. Tune-up, new brakes, new tires, gas lines, brake lines, carrier bearing, all the good stuff. Needs a little bit more work. There it is. All original. Actually pretty clean, really, for being a PA truck. He did say he had new fenders, so I assume they were rusty and they've been replaced. I see what looks to be some sort of a touch up there. I don't know, maybe the door hit the fender when it opened and he spray bombed it to kind of touch it up. So by no means all original, but it looks rust free and it's pretty clean underneath. Yeah, you can see the reds don't quite match. And then this might be from a different truck altogether because it has the graphics there that stop. So perhaps his original bed rusted out. But this thing is in nice shape. I think that's a fair asking price given the region. And the dash isn't cracked, but it is starting to bubble up there and delaminate. So pretty good. We got another 86 pickup here in Ohio, 1,500 bucks. This thing sold fast. It's so ugly. So the funny thing is, this truck sold. Mikey, actually, my buddy Mikey from the shop spot, actually sent it to me. He just wants a small two-wheel drive truck he can drive an hour to work every day, just to pick up and commute and carry wood and all that kind of stuff in the bed. So he was looking at buying this, and I said, dude, this is a steal. Buy this, like, this is a good deal. Buy this truck. He's like, oh, I gotta, talk to the old lady and maybe get rid of some stuff first, but it sold like the same day anyways. So there was not even a chance he was gonna buy it. But 1,500 bucks for a running, rust-free Toyota pickup, even if it's two-wheel drive. Well, I shouldn't say rust-free, but not Bondo-free. But still, you get the point. Running, driving truck for 1,500 bucks. Has some sweet SN95 Mustang Cobra wheels on it. Thing sold really quick, and now I saw it again listed 2 weeks later for, I think, like, the guy was asking like 3,200 bucks, just trying to flip it basically. And I'm thinking to myself, there's no way you're gonna get 3,200 bucks for that. Like, at least paint it first so it's not so ugly. And then he updated the listing shortly after, and then it had a blown head gasket. So I think the guy, he should have flipped it when he could have. Now he's got a blown head gasket, and he's still asking 3,200 bucks. So that thing's not selling anytime soon. But yeah, nice try. We have one more left here, then we'll sign off for the night. Check any last questions, which I do have one more big question we'll get to. I was hoping Clinton would be there for this, but we'll see if he shows up at the last minute. 85 4Runner in West Virginia, 3,500 bucks, 225,000 miles. Blah 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 blah. Telling his life story here. It's on 35s, and it's not re-geared. But let's check it out. 3,500 bucks. I'm guessing, I don't know what happened. It's got the two-wheel drive front fenders on it, so definitely by no means original. No bumper. But look at the frame. That's nice under all that dirt. Real nice. SR5, got the high trim door panels on it. I would have, if this thing was near me, I would have bought it. This would have been the one. Okay, this side's got a four-wheel drive fender. I just caught that. I worry a little bit about what's under that fresh blue paint, because you can see they didn't even like bother to mask off the the bottom of the window, so they were clearly in a hurry to get it painted. But yeah, that frame is beautiful. Is that dash not even cracked? It's not. It's got the inclinometer on it. Yeah, this is a nice rig for sure. A little bit of rust there in the back. Yeah, look at that. I mean, you guys, it's like what, four screws to remove the taillight? Come on. $4 for a roll of tape and some newspaper. But hey, for the price, 3,500 bucks, you can't argue. It sold really fast. Last one here. Last one we're going to look at, and I'll jump back to the comments. I got this on my YouTube channel, another video, and it would have been a whole lot to type, so I told them just come check out the show, and you'll see an answer there. Yeah, come on over, check it out. What are all the components and harnesses that you will need to make your 22R a 22RE? And keep it looking original. I was hoping Clinton would join me here to back me up on some of these things. If I miss anything, you guys let me know in the comments. So, Jesse, the answer is, I looked into this a while back with my truck because, as you know, it's a 22R, and I wanted to convert it to 22RE. I canceled that idea after I saw how much work it was. It's more than you think. So let's start with the engine. First thing you're going to need is obviously the complete 22RE intake manifold, all the sensors, all the injectors, throttle body, the intake tube, all that stuff. You're going to need the box up front in place of the air box that you have now. It's going to need the airflow sensor on it. Oh, you're going to need, what else? The 22REs have a longer water neck on the thermostat housing, so you're going to need that. The 22REs have a block-off plate in place of the mechanical fuel pumps. You're going to need that. And then you're going to need to replace the entire fuel tank with one from a 22RE. Keep in mind, different wheelbases use different size gas tanks. You'll need the same wheelbase gas tank as your truck. And then it has the internal fuel pump inside the tank. That's going to be specific to that tank. You're going to need new fuel lines because it's a higher pressure fuel line now, so you're going to need to replace all the fuel lines. You're going to need the harness for the rear harness. It's all included from the taillights to the floor of the passenger side of the cab. That's going to have your connections and all that for the fuel pump. I believe the sending unit might be the same one. So you maybe could just add those wires if you're really good at wiring. But yeah, you're going to need all that. You're going to need the engine harness under the hood. You might as well just go ahead and get, it might be easier just to get the cab harness. Otherwise, you're going to be cutting and splicing because you're going to need the ECU for the 22RE. And that's just a lot of cutting and splicing unless you have all the diagrams to compare from. It might actually be faster to just yank out the interior and replace the whole entire harness. That's what I would look into. A couple other odds and ends here. For example, the 22RE, those gauge clusters had a oil pressure gauge instead of an idiot light. So to run that gauge, those engines have a wider voltage oil pressure sending unit. So you will need either the gauge cluster from the 22RE truck, which usually has which will have a tack on it, which will be nice, to match the output of that sending unit. Or if you're going to keep your current 22R gauge cluster, you will need to take the oil pressure sending unit off of your 22R block and put it onto the 22RE. Well, I shouldn't say that. You may not be swapping the whole motor. If you're keeping your block and just swapping the intake, you'll just need to replace the sending unit on your block with one from a 22RE. So, getting off track here. Oh man, what else is there involved in that? There was more. Throttle cable. The throttle body is in a different position than the carburetor. What else? You got the. We talked about the fuel lines, fuel pressure regulator, which will be in the intake if you get that complete. This is where I need Clinton to jump in, or you guys to jump in, because I know there was more, and it made it totally not worth it to do all that work for what, like 15 horsepower or something like that. So that's why my truck is still carbureted. Trying to think here if there's anything else, but yeah, basically, if that wasn't enough to convince you not to do it, unless perhaps say you have a parts truck or you buy two trucks and you can just swap everything over from one to the other. That might be the only reason I'd do it. Or if the 22R sat out in the field with no intake on it for 50 years and it was just, or not 50 years, 20 years, and it was just full of gunk and mice built nests in it, you know. Other than that, I would just keep it car ridden. So back to the, well, let's look at the comments here for the night. And then I'm going to sign off because it has been an hour, a very lonely hour. Didn't get to see Clinton or his mullet today, or his cat. Let's see here. Where were we? So I just got, oh, there we go, the clutch. All right. How long have you heard of the trains lasting with hard miles? Let's see. What trains do you have? Is that the G or the W56? The W56 is beefier than the G series. With that being said, my truck has the original G series trans, and I have about 195,000 miles on it now, and no issues. Once in a while, if I shift into second really quick, it'll crunch into second gear. Not like a bad grind, but just like a quick split second. You know, you kind of feel it getting a little bit notchy to go in. So I'm sure that synchro is getting a little bit worn. But other than that, man, it's a good trans, and it's been off-road plenty of times. So they're well-built transmissions. That being said, if you need to buy one, I mean, you can get them for, you know, a G series you can get for probably under 150. A W56 probably $200 in that range. Yeah, once again, if it's not giving you any trouble, no problems, just keep on going, you know. The only issue I've had with mine is that it was leaking the rear seal. What's it called? Rear transmission, rear flange seal on the back of the transmission where the drive shaft. Oh, I'm sorry. That was the transfer case. My bad. I'm thinking of a two-wheel drive. No, my four-wheel drive has had no issues at all. Nope. I did replace the rear flange seal on the transfer case, but the trans itself has been great. No problems. I did have the slave cylinder go out. That's right. Left me stranded one time. But that was it. All right, guys. 10 o'clock. It's time to sign off. Next week will be, or I'm sorry, in 2 weeks, we'll be back here on the channel. I will note myself next time to schedule the stream so you guys know what's happening. And we might get more than 4 viewers showing up at the last minute. And I'll check in with Clinton ahead of time, too, and make sure he's around. So, my bad, man. Things just been crazy the last week with losing the wife's vehicle, and my boy had pneumonia, and man, 3-year-olds with pneumonia are a wreck. So slipped my mind. But we'll be back in 2 weeks, same time, this channel, and hope to see you guys there. Thanks for watching.